Hello and welcome back to another time lapse here in Camembert Coasts, where today we are doing a little bit of infrastructure. Now this is also a YouTube exclusive due to me having a small break away from streaming, but we will be back live this Saturday, live on Twitch, which will be 3 p.m. BST again on Saturday. But this episode is all about our small industrial harbour, which I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but one of the amazing community members, Georgia, decided on the name for this little port area. But essentially it's going to be a mixture of a little bit of infrastructure in terms of roads and rail, but also developing this port area. We start off on the west side of the port area with this beautiful Golden Gate Bridge asset, which will eventually go to the airport, slowly, or quickly, shall I say, transitioning onto the east side of this area near the Sydney Harbour Bridge asset. Now we're using these two-lane roads which came with that asset, which are actually quite a lot narrower than the standard two-lane roads, but you can see us here trying to make this look as clean as possible. And we essentially wanted to make a freeway interchange here, so none of the assets that I had downloaded already fit the bill. So we essentially decided to make our own using these two-lane roads. Connecting them up was quite a task, and obviously we're trying to balance 6 lots of roads here at different levels and heights, trying to make them as smooth as possible using mods like Node Controller and some other ones like Road Anarchy, trying to make these look as neat as possible. It was a very tedious task for sure, but I feel like it turned out well in the end, despite the very few issues that we had, as you just saw on the screen, trying to make them look as neat as possible. And I don't think I kept it in this time lapse, but we did go through and paint in custom interchanges for these as well, which kind of finished off that whole look, which is wonderful. And then going back onto the side with the Sydney Harbour Bridge, not the Sydney Harbour Bridge, sorry, the Golden Gate Bridge, we had to create this little interchange here between these. Essentially, these were going to factor as on and off ramps onto the main bridge. However, this did change later because I completely forgot about the rail network. But these are essentially going to act as one main road that will continue along the highway to the Sydney Harbour Bridge and also the downtown intersections. But they also act as a way onto this industrial port. And this was I can't remember the name of the port now. Thankfully, someone in chat, Georgia, did name it, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But you can see us working on these on-off ramps into this area, which did turn out to be pretty busy. I was worried about how much traffic was coming in and out of this area, especially as you will be able to see later when we put in so many different ports and factories and such. But you can. I think it turned out okay, actually. This acted as like quite of a huge roundabout-esque type thing where people could come on and off, minimizing the amount of traffic build up into this area. And like I said, I think it worked out pretty perfectly. And on this side, we are working on those 2 separate areas into the Canary Wharf downtown area. I decided to use 2, again, just to minimize the amount of traffic build-up. I feel like it was probably for the best, one of which will go onto the giant intersection, which also feeds under the water to the other side of the city, and one that goes straight onto a roundabout just south of the beautiful gardens, which you'll be able to see shortly, hopefully. Here we go, just splitting off these roads, trying to make this as neat as possible, whilst trying to minimize our footprint. And here is where I was speaking about earlier, where I realized one of these actually had to be a train line. So I decided to merge all of these lanes together. It took a little bit of time, as you can see. But again, thanks for that Node Controller renewal mod, we were able to make this look Again, very busy, but still quite clean, which I was very happy about. So all this feeds onto a 6-lane road, not a highway, but we did change the speed of it. And as you can see, just trying to detail this to make this look quite nice. And then here we are, coming back onto this this rail network. We decided to essentially split this into 3 different segments. One, which unfortunately the footage got corrupted for, would be a passenger train station for any employees here, but the other 2 would bring into these port networks. One on each side. One would be for local deliveries, the other would go off onto the airport area, which will become a cargo port at some point. And here we're just working on a smooth sort of road traffic system, whilst also adding in a lot of decoration. Some more functional, obviously using these ship port areas as well to blend it in. Looks quite nice. Also just adding in everything that we could possibly need. The ferry depot got moved into this area. We added in a metro line and some decorative objects for that. Just trying to make this place look really used. And here you can see the before picture. Very, very nice. Huge area that we've used and obviously transformed. And you'll be able to see the after in a second. It's a slightly long one because we've been working on this area for a while. Here you can see it there, which is looking very nice. Unfortunately, where you've got the other side of the river, we did work on a few extra bits. However, the footage got corrupted, unfortunately. So you just have to trust me on that one. But thank you anyway for watching another time-lapse video here. You can see it's quite slow here. I think this was only about an hour after I finished building this area, but it looks quite nice. We'll be live, as I said, on Thursday, 3 PM BST for another live stream from Camembert Coasts. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh look, a ship.